In.
I was convinced last night, so I'm not going to change my mind.
I'm not. Is he?
I was.
I think he was.
I was.
Yeah. He finally got there and did nail his colours to the mast. Yeah, I have to concede he did do that. Yeah. Although
Okay.
I thought he was wrong. Not for the first
So
thing.
VAR can lie then?
You tell me.
Well, Mike, in normal circumstances, I suppose that's why you're going to argue you've got the technology now, but I mean, 9 times out of 10 that's out, isn't it? I mean, what's the view here?
I think without the technology they've got for this tournament, back home and normal domestic games, that would be tough to call. Because they've got the technology with the centering the ball and when the player kicks the ball, that's probably swayed.
So if you're working the match centre at home, that's out?
I think it would be hard to get a proper good angle that we have, because we haven't got the technology when they're centering the ball, when the player kicks the ball, to actually define when the ball was played.
Mike, we were fluffing around this before the show, but basically they overturned the decision that was made on field, didn't they? So are you telling us that there is clear evidence to suggest that the on-field decision was wrong? Because the linesman flag goes up and he disallows it. I'm pretty certain of that.
Yeah, it's a goal kick, because otherwise it wouldn't have got reviewed, would it? So,
yeah. So my point is, there has to be clear evidence. Are you absolutely certain? Can you be certain that that's you're over?
I mean, look at the image you've just seen there. It looks as if it's out, but
Yeah.
I've seen a stadium last night that unfortunately I don't think any broadcast had hold of. They showed it in the stadium, and everybody was quite, I wouldn't say everybody was pleased, but they were comfortable with the outcome because they showed it in the stadium. We never seen no angles last night when we went out at 12 o'clock. And obviously I know Gary was in the same boat last night.
No, I was in the stadium though, Mike. I didn't feel like everyone knew.
Yeah.
Did you not see it on the screen, Gary?
They did show it on the screen.
Because we were under the illusion they showed it on the screen in the stadium.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is, if you're watching the game again, you turn around, look.
You probably wouldn't look at it. Yeah.
You know,
But it's just taken too long to get the information through. And obviously today, they've released a statement FIFA today with the explanation why, but it's come 18 hours too late for everybody.
Far too late.
You
I
want
would
to know
have
last
to
night. This
say-
time last night, you want to know.
Yeah.
As much as I don't like seeing goals disallowed, I think the offside technology has worked.
Yeah, I can't.
Would we all agree?
Yeah.
I think it's been very good.
Yeah.
We're getting the evidence
Well, it's hard
late,
to argue it when you see it the way it
but
is
I
now,
think
yeah.
it's been very good.
Yeah.
And how long before we can then implement that in the Premier League?
I don't know if they'll try it after Christmas. I don't think they can bring it in halfway through the season. I don't know. That's up to the powers that be. But I think from next year, if this has been a success, which looks like it has, there's no reason why we can't implement it in the Premier League next year and other domestic leagues as well. I think it's a way forward then. It gets people pretty clear in the stadium. They'll show it on the screens in the stadium. The clubs that have got screens on. You should be able to see it within
You're
2
now
or 3
in charge
minutes.
of VAR.
I'm not in charge of it. I'm employed as a VAR.
No, he's right.
You're
now in charge of
You
it.
are in charge of that.
I'm not in charge
Don't
of
talk
VAR.
yourself down, mate. You're now in charge
You
of
are
it.
by and
We're
large
appointing you. We are appointing you now.
regarded as being in charge of VAR. So will you have a say going forward on these various implementations of what's available now?
I wouldn't have if they asked me if obviously Howard's takes over, we've already taken over Howard, so if he speaks to you when I get back and ask what the feedback was and the general feeling over here, that can give him some information, but it's not for me to decide what gets done. I'm not head of VAR, trust me, I'm not. I'm just an employee.
But you are an influential figure in the Matchday Centre.
I could be.
Can we put it like that?
I could be influential if I wanted to be. I try
Mike,
to
can I ask
stay out of the way.
Are you generally our referees having a good tournament? It seems like they are, because we're not talking too much, are we, about referees? I don't feel. I mean, there's been the odd incident, but are you thinking they're having a good
I
tournament?
think it's gone okay. I mean, there's going to be isolated incidents, and we've had quite a few the last few days, and that's more because the first 2 group stages, there's a little bit for the teams to play with. The third match, it's bust, isn't it? You know, if you lose that, you're going home.
It's like a knockout stage,
There's a lot more, and obviously from
So
tomorrow
you
around.
expect it to get more difficult
A lot more physical.
ongoing?
Yeah. You can see at the end of the game today with the Uruguay game and the one we've just seen now with the Serbia game. There's a lot of tension towards the end of the game because teams have they've worked that hard to get through to the last 16 tomorrow. It's going to be a lot more.
Do you think the
tension in
Dutchman's
game.
cost himself a chance of the final, awarding that ridiculous penalty for Messi?
I don't know, to be fair, because I was of the impression that when I watch games, I think, well, he might not get another game or he might not get another game, but the American referee refereed the Portugal and it might have been Ghana game when he gave the penalty.
It all becomes one.
Yeah,
like
he refereed tonight, so
Yeah.
I think they're not just going to hand the refs out to dry if they make a mistake. I think there's a close knit of refs of 36, and obviously I think after today and probably next week there'll be some that'll go over and some mistakes. They won't keep all 36. It just doesn't happen.
No, I suppose we draw that conclusion because sometimes, I mean, not obviously very often, but occasionally it happens that if a referee in the Premier League has a bad weekend, he's not working the following weekend. I know there's nothing to do with the previous performance that Mike. It just falls that way sometimes, doesn't
Yeah, it probably does, to be honest, on rotation.
You had a few weeks off, Mike, didn't you?
Well, yeah, but now if you were playing now, you'd have a few weeks off. Well, you walk with the size of the squad, you can't play every game at your age. Yeah, he hasn't started on me yet, John.